Hello, everyone. Well, I've waited the obligatory almost 30 seconds. Okay, no false alarm. I'm Roy Potter. This is the Potter Expositor. And as you can tell, a lot of things are going on. I am totally worn out. Just totally worn out. I think I need a a shot of Crown Royal and just to hit the sack and go to sleep, which I will probably do in a few moments. But I wanted to tell you what happened, and I've gotten permission to tell you, okay? In some detail. I won't go into a lot. Okay, so after I gave my my displeasure over YouTube and on Twitter through Periscope, I received a message from B. And those on Twitter will know who I'm talking about. On Twitter, her handle is at capital B 754-34425. And I don't think I can give you all the information. Hopefully, you can hear what I'm saying. It looks like my connection. This is my phone, not my laptop. It's not the studio setup, so I think it's doing okay. Probably a little jumpy on the. Maybe I can get a little closer so the back doesn't go in and out of focus. Let me see if I can explain this without getting into things that would probably not be the best thing to do. Okay. And I'm sorry, I am tired. I'm worn out. It's been crazy. First of all, I want to thank B for getting a hold of me. I didn't expect that, and actually, it's kind of a humbling experience. I'll just say that, okay? Uh, she she basically told me that I was right about the concerns that I had the way this whole thing came out. Uh, that the people surrounding Q and the president are concerned that they need to come out with a better system of disclosure because a lot of them aren't happy with the way that it's been coded. But like I said, initially, I think that it was a good thing to let the powers that be that are opposing our constitutional republic and our attempt to restore it uh, needed to know that there were serious people involved in trying to do this. So I hope I don't miscommunicate what she told me. And I'll do my best. And B, if I make a mistake, please feel free to post on here or on Twitter to clarify because I am a little worn out. Okay. I can't thank you enough for getting a hold of me. She realized that I was very upset, and it all revolves around the DEFCON 1 thing. Okay. That was probably not the best term to use. And the people that have responded on Twitter and on YouTube and other places saying that it's not a DEFCON 1 are probably correct. Okay. There is a DEFCON warning system, but I've got to tell you folks that that's a civilian system. It's not foolproof. It's not fail-safe. When you look at the DEFCON warning system civilian side, they don't get military information. They watch what's going. I know about it. I've dealt with it. Okay, just because the DEFCON warning system, the civilian side of it, tells you that they're at DEFCON 5, that may or may not be correct. Okay, so you can't depend on that. You just can't. So when I saw B, and I know a little bit about B, when I saw that come out from her, I didn't know at first that Q had said this. And then when I found out that she said it because Q said it, that even concerned me more. So, yeah, if you're going to just tell the Twitter and the YouTube community that we're at a DEFCON rating and not give that information out to the public, a DEFCON 1 rating to the public, let them know that's crazy, and that's why I was so upset. Okay, and I think some of you who are military understand why I would be that way. But she clarified that the purpose of Q doing that was to try to tell us that we need to be at the highest readiness level. So, in effect, it was to the Twitter, YouTube community, those people who are already awake and looking at this. So, I don't think that they intended it to be an official DEFCON 1 notification. Okay? Uh, and I can buy that. And I appreciate B bringing that to my attention and explaining that that's how they looked at it. And I told them that, in my opinion, if I was going to tell the Twitter and YouTube community to be on high alert, I would have said that. I certainly would not have used the DEFCON 1 notification. That's what threw all the bells and whistles and aggravations up in my head. And most other people who have any professional contact with those notifications, they know what they are. Those readiness conditions, defense condition. Okay, so that's the first thing she said, is that the real issue was that Q wanted us to know that big things are coming, that they're here, and that they wanted us, the Q team and POTUS, want us to be at the highest readiness level for ourselves so that we can help through this transition. My God, I hope this is true. I think most of us are tired of I don't want to say surreptitious notifications, but this stuff just needs to get out. And B, by the way, agreed with that. She said that there were many people in the Q team and a lot of the Anons who really think that the puzzle thing has been overdone, and that we just need to get on with it, get away from the code system, and that they're waiting for that. So they want the disclosures to be more plain language. So there we are. So that's exactly how I felt about it, of course. She was concerned that, and she reiterated the problem that has been on the Chans and in other places, where people saying that they are part of the Q team come out and claim to be part of the Q team and then give information. And like Q did in a few posts ago, she reiterated that the only place that Q is having any communication with anyone is on the Chan. Okay? If they say it's a Twitter, we had the thing with the Kill Rogue deal, and then somebody had a on Twitter at Kill Rogue, and we found a Twitter account like that, and then there was another Q account and all that. The point being that none of those, zero, according to B, are legitimate. They're either copycats or whatever else. The only place that Q is posting is on the Chans, and on this point, it's at 8chan.net. The Storm is where it is now, and I think most of you might be able to figure that out. It's gone off of the CPTS board, as I stated, and is now on. And I'll try to put the link down below after all this processes, if I have the energy afterwards. Like I said, I'm really worn out. Yeah, Kill Rogue. That's the one. Again, the point is, as Q said in his posts, and B reiterated, there are no communications from Q to anybody else anywhere. And I'll just say it, okay? I don't know how far I can go here. If you hear anybody say that they are of Q and they're giving direct information to a even if it's an alternative media, or anybody, if it's not coming from the Chan, if it's not coming from the Q posts on Chan, it's not true. They're making something up. And I could point a lot of fingers there, but I'm just not going to do it. And I'll just let you all figure that out. But it makes sense to me. a couple of things were said in the last week that didn't add up, and even my doctor caught them. And again, I'm not going to go on, and not by me. I didn't say them, but some people who claimed that they were part of the Q team to some media people and gave some information which was actually contradictory to what Q had said. There's a lot, like I said, this is a war of disinformation. There is so much deception and everything going on. You got to fly by the seat of your pants and by your gut, and it's really tough. It's tough. Try to have the spirit of discernment. No, 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 I am not Q. And I said that today. Somebody just said that. No, no, no. I put that out on that live stream earlier today where it didn't work because of my... It works on my phone because it's not as big a batch of information that's going through my rather poorly supplied internet. I said today, it's like the guy that I knew who said, there are two things I know of for sure. One, there's a God, and two, I'm not him. Well, I'm sure there's a Q. I'm talking about me now. I'm sure there's a Q, number one. Number two, I ain't him, okay, or them. I'm not. All I'm doing is looking at the posts and looking at those from my professional background, okay? And that's how I talk, both professional and esoteric, because both systems have been used, and probably even more. Yeah, no, I am not Q. Right, exactly. I'm not. Okay, all right. So we've gotten that far right now, okay? Other people being right about details, it doesn't matter. There's a problem with anybody going public to any media outlet if it's not coming through Q himself. That's not authorized. I don't care how, the problem, if Q is for real, then the people that are out there talking to media cannot be real, because Q's saying they're not authorized to do that. If Q's false, then maybe those people are right, except that if they're claiming to be part of Q's saying that they're not of them. So you see there's a problem. So we've got some disinformation people out there. And I've said it just a few minutes ago, be wary of disinfo, be wary of deceit. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So what did B say? Pretty simple. She said, watch POTUS's tweets. Does that make sense to you? It sure does to me. Like I said, we got the basics up through November. And when we compare Trump's tweets to those earlier Q posts, not saying that the new ones aren't going to be good. I'm not saying that. They're icing on the cake. But the commander's intent, what Trump was planning on doing, was pretty well set out in those first Q posts in the first month. And B says, just watch the Trump posts on Twitter. That's what you need to watch. And I would agree with that. I think that makes a lot of sense. And then Q will substantiate it, and vice versa. A lot of the intel information that people are claiming to have, you can get it from all open source information and then make it sound pretty incredible. I've seen that happen before. So let's abide by this, and it makes sense to me, okay? If it doesn't come from Q or from POTUS directly, or if somebody says they're from Q, they're not authorized to do that outside the Q channel. All right, that's just the way it is. Both Q and, like I said a few minutes ago, B have said that. So all of the others are suspect. I don't care who puts them out on the media, under what circumstances. All of the authenticity that they may seem to have, they're not real. Just a word of warning. Okay. She admitted that the use of the word of DEFCON 1 was a major deal, and it needs to have detailed follow-up. So I've been guaranteed that Q and B and all of those will explain it a little better, that it will, well, just be explained and detailed out, so that my concerns, and those who understand the DEFCON rating system, that those concerns will be alleviated. That's not to say that we aren't in danger from North Korea or from the CIA, because we are. These people are, the CIA is not for the Republic. I don't care what Pompeo said, which he did, that, oh, there's no deep state in the CIA. You want me to go back to cussing Pompeo? Are you kidding me? What, that's the kind of thing that just boggles my mind. Pompeo, he's the CIA director. Under Trump, the CIA giving all this trouble to Trump through the mainstream media. Operation Mockingbird, the NDAA allowing the CIA to lie to us in propaganda, and Pompeo says there's no deep state in the CIA. Ugh. Is there any wonder I'm frustrated at all of you? You don't get straight answers from any of these people. And it's just so frustrating. Okay. I think I've covered the main things. I'm kind of out of it. So B, if I misstated something, or if I omitted something I didn't mean to, I appreciate you so much contacting me. I guess I created quite a stir back east there, huh? Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's not surprising. It's like I said in the post the other night, I've stirred shit since the 1970s. I guess I'm still doing it. All right. I think I covered the basic information. So let's keep our eyes on the horizon and our ears to the ground. And I will say that I've been called some names by I've long suspected that some of these people, and usually I don't defend myself, but right after this thing tonight happened and I was upset, I got accosted by a few so-called in the know YouTubers. I won't mention any names. I will tell you that one of them called me Patsy Potter. That'll probably tell you who it is. But, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. I have a reputation, yes, a personal reputation that some people don't particularly like. Tough luck. I'm libertarian, and most people libertarian understand that. I don't claim to be a traditional Christian. I don't claim to be anything but maybe a Jamesian Christian. But I'm not beholden to your dogma, okay? Number one. Number two, again, I don't like to come to my defense, but I'm going to, because that wasn't very nice to call me a Patsy Potter. Patsy to whom? Whom am I a patsy to? After my tirade today, you think I'm a patsy? Well, the military, after I was fired from Murray Police Department, gave me a call on the phone. The person that called me Patsy Potter and tried to make an issue of this several weeks ago, and others who have tried to make an issue of it. The military, from at that time ARPERSON, it was called ARPERSON, the Army Personnel Center, sent me a letter, actually, told me to report to a enlistment station. Well, I was an officer. Why would they have me go to an enlistment station, right? I'm telling you, remember I told you I'd tell you some of my personal life story, and I wouldn't believe it if it hadn't happened to me, right? Here I got fired from the Murray Police Department for my personal beliefs, and any other cop could have as many girlfriends as they wanted, but because I wanted to take responsibility for the girls I was with, oh no, they can't have that, because the Mormon Church up on 47 East South Temple made sure that that wasn't going to happen, right? That they're not going to permit that kind of thing. And I'm not saying it. Well, I'm not going to disavow what I understand about male and female relationships. I'm not going to disavow that. I'll just say that other than on a one-on-one relationship, I wasn't very good at that. All right, I'll just leave it at that. But at any rate, so the Army calls me up, knowing. As a matter of fact, I went to the enlistment station, and I went in, and there was an E7 in there, a sergeant first class, and I told him who I was. He says, "Oh yeah, I've got this envelope here for you, sir." He gives me the envelope, pardon me, and I open it up and I read it, and it's from a lieutenant colonel. I was a lieutenant at the time, a first lieutenant, from a lieutenant colonel at ARPERSON, and I won't give you his name. It's in a book I wrote, but I know who it is. But anyway, and it was basically saying, call him when I read the letter. So I used the center's phone there, and I called back to Arperson, which is St. Louis, Missouri, and the guy who wrote me the letter answers the phone, and I said, "Hi, sir, this is Lieutenant Potter. I understand you wanted me to call you," and he turns and he said, I can hear him talking to the people in the background. He says, "Hey guys, guess who I've got on the phone? I've got Potter." And I can hear all this ruckus, and all this, because I had been written up in the Army Times about my whole situation, because I had been in USA Today, and I'd been on Phil Donahue, et cetera, et cetera. It was well known back in the 80s. And so anyway, I'm talking to him, and he says, "Look, Lieutenant, we don't care what Utah did to you. You can come, and we're going to give you another badge and a gun. You can go back to work for us." I went, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, just come on, report." And he gave me a report date, and so I showed up, and they promoted me right on the spot when I arrived at Arperson, which was at St. Louis, Missouri. Right on the spot, they said, "Hey, you're overdue for your promotion," and they gave me my promotion. They had the orders and everything ready. They pinned on, I wasn't in uniform, but they pinned the bars, the railroad tracks onto my collar, like here. They said, "You're officially a captain," and, we're reinstituting I had a secret clearance as a lieutenant, and they reinstituted that. It goes through a procedure, where they do a background and everything. But at any rate, I went back on active duty at that point in time, and I was on there for a while. So that's how that came about. And just so you know, eventually, lady who called me Patsy Potter, thank you. Uh, I eventually went to the Officer Advanced course. Then I went to the Army Terrorism Counteraction course. I'd already been to the Nuclear Chemical Accidents and Control course, and a bunch of other things. And then I went to as a member of the cadre, I guess you could call it, at the War College at Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I wasn't there very long, but I went there, and I did my job. I actually was the bodyguard for a member from the. You guys are gonna freak out about this, but I was actually a bodyguard for a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. Oh my gosh. Can you believe that? And you wonder why I know so much? I went with him to his briefings. I heard all this stuff. And by that time, I had a top secret clearance. Okay, I had been granted a top secret clearance at that time. And I got promoted to major, and then I went to Commanding General Staff College, and then I got a top secret with access to sensitive compartmented information, which is the TSSCI that you hear so many people brag about, and it's not quite on the level of the Q clearance. There's still different delineations, but at any rate, that's the history. The lady who called me Patsy Potter. Okay, so I'm not a dummy, and I have a reason to be upset with a situation where I hear a DEFCON 1 rating being called out. That's pretty serious. Okay. I am weary, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Well, B and I ended our conversation on very good terms. I'm so very happy to have met her acquaintance. And we basically ended by saying, we do all of this for MAGA, for the Constitutional Republic of the United States of America, and for God. And then we called each other friends. So it's patched up. This will all be fixed in the next few days. And I can just say I'm really happy about this. Okay? It gave me a lot of hope, a lot of faith, and I hope it does to you too. There are people that are doing their best, and we're all going to make mistakes, And Potter, when he gets mad, he gets mad. I got Viking blood in me, okay? Potter, like I told a lot of people before, Potter's not, Harry Potter. Potter's not a British name. It's a Norman. It's Normandy. The Vikings, the Normans, the Norsemen who conquered the coast of France and then invaded Britain and defeated the Anglo-Saxons. I'm Viking. My heritage is Viking. On my father's side, and then on my mother's side, it's still Scandinavian. It's Swedish. So I've got double Viking blood in me. And so when my ire is raised to a point, it unleashes. Okay, it takes a lot to get me there, but when it happens, it unleashes. And God help anybody who's in the way. Okay, so I think you saw that today, and there have been a couple other times I've lost it. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I guess I'll do a quick Periscope as well after I leave here. And just so the people there don't feel left out, because I guess there are some people that are on Twitter and Periscope that aren't on YouTube and vice versa. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll sign off here. If you want to follow me on over, it'll take about 10 minutes. I let this process. I stop it, and then it takes about 10-15 minutes for it to process and to get uploaded to YouTube, and then at that point I can use it to go onto Periscope. So it'll probably be 10 or 15 minutes, and by then I'll probably have real bags under my eyes, as that's just the way it works. Thanks everybody. I wish I could say hi to each and every one of you, and to all of my friends out there, which are all of you. Yeah, there is no DEFCON 1 officially, and that's true. The DEFCON 1 warning system, or the DEFCON warning system, was right about that. But still, I don't trust that, okay? The fact is, this came from people connected to the government, and I was wondering why they used the DEFCON 1 phrase. They shouldn't have done that, and they kind of admit that now. They were trying to just tell us that it's that level of concern, okay? That's the point. So we've ironed all of that out. Everything's okay. All right, just Q and POTUS and all those people want us to be alerted, aware of what's happening, to be on high alert, to watch what's happening, because a lot's going to happen from here forward. And that makes sense, as we've been saying. Somebody's asking me what the DEFCONs are. DEFCON 1 through DEFCON 5. DEFCON 5 is like everything's normal, nothing's happening. DEFCON 1 is look out, a nuclear bomb's coming through the atmosphere and it's going to blow us up. That's kind of the range, okay? So that's why when I heard that they were warning of a DEFCON 1, I said, why would they be only telling the Twitter community and the YouTube community and not making this, well known throughout the country? But like I said, all that's been ironed out now is to try to emphasize, according to B, try to emphasize to us how serious things are getting. And sleep with our eyes open. I do that anyway. But they're going to straighten that out. They're going to make it so that we understand, yes, there is a payload, as we've talked about. They're ready to move on North Korea, which again is the CIA. Some people say the rogue section of the CIA. It doesn't matter. It's the CIA. And the deep state. Just like POTUS has in Afghanistan on the CIA drug factories. MS-13, the hit squads, and the soldiers here for the deep state and the DNC and Hillary and W. Wasserman Schultz, etc., that carry out all that stuff. And of course, they're so stupid, the MS-13, that they don't know that after they do a hit, that the real professionals are going to come and kill them like they did the guys that wasted others like that assassinated Seth Rich. But that's what you get when you deal with these kind of people. So anyway, I hope that all kind of makes everybody understand what's going on. And I'm going to sign off from here. I'm sorry, I can't really do a whole lot of question answering right now. I'm really too worn out. Honestly, I am. I can't believe I've gone for 30 minutes. But I just want to say it, and I'll say it one last time before I go to Periscope. Let's make America great again. God bless the Constitutional Republic of the United States of America. God bless all of you, all of Americans. God bless President Trump. And I guess that's it. Okay? All right. Out here, everybody. We'll see you.